morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you are. This is Morgan Reese, and welcome to Good Morning Black People with Morgan Reese. And I have my talented, brilliant, intelligent, amazing guest tonight, James Homebwoi Maddox, joining me tonight on tonight's episode. James, I am so honored and so grateful that you took the time out of your busy schedule to join me. Homebwoi is a distinguished hip-hop artist known for his versatile collaborations and dynamic presence in the music industry, with features on major albums and soundtracks. His journey exemplifies artistic growth and consistent excellence. Notable collaborations, which is everybody probably know, Yang Yang Twins, My Brother and Me, album track, Halftime, Stand Up and Get Crunk.
Yeah.
All the way from Georgia. Thank you again, Homebwoi, for joining my show. I appreciate you, James, so much. Let's just kick this off.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about James. Tell me who you are, what you're about, and then we're gonna go from there.
I'm a big ball of creativity.
I believe that.
Yeah, most people who know me are like, what don't you know how to do? Right. So okay. I am a CEO and founder of a company called Metro Southern Media. We are a new type of like service provider. I like to call it like multimedia services. We can handle everything from your graphic design needs to your print media needs to building websites for you, social media management for you, doing your logos to voiceover work to video editing and audio engineering and video production, set design, like pretty much everything that a business could need from a marketing perspective or a multimedia perspective. We can handle that from start to finish for people. And so I'm always busy.
I can tell you have a lot of hats. You have a lot of hats. So now I know who to connect with when I need those things done for my brand.
Absolutely.
Okay. I had the $1 million gazillion dollar question. So as you see, I'm from up north, born and born, raised in Philly, and I moved to Georgia before I moved to where I'm at now in 2004. And so people was coming at me, telling me, you from up north, you don't know how we do things here. And when that song Halftime came out, of course, the beat was phenomenal. I mean, the music, I'm a big music person. I came from a family of music background. My grandfather was a leader of a group. My little baby brother, he was part of a group. Then he went solo. So I'm really big on music. And when I heard that song, I was like, okay, the song sounds nice. The song sounds good. What does crunk mean?
And
they looked at me like, you ain't from down here. You don't know how we do.
You
looked at me like, did she just ask that question?
Yeah, crunk. That was a whole movement, though. So crunk was a movement.
I know. I thought it for a brief, minute moment, so it just didn't sound right coming from my mouth. Because I'm from up north, so I'm professional, as everybody called me. They say you so professional, you don't sound right saying it. So what does crunk mean? What was the
crunk it's just another word for hype.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's get hype. Yeah.
And so was it meant just to be for the HBCU bands and colleges, or was it just to be a movement just for in general?
So with the Stand Up and Get Crunk song, it's actually one of the songs that the HBCU bands actually play. So Mr. Colley Park went to Alabama A&M, and I believe that's one of their fight songs. And so it's just been any HBCU band, they all know that song. So it's just taken from the band and taking it and bringing it into mainstream America. And that's basically what happened with that song.
Wow. Okay, so it was more than just as you say, a get hype song or whatever. It basically began a movement just mainly for the Black community, Black culture. And then like now it's like it's just taking over in general.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, the song was originally, it was a song that we originally tried to push to the Atlanta Falcons, and they were like, we don't want it. We ready. And then 2009, the New Orleans Saints won the Super Bowl, and then I got a phone call from Harpo's people, Oprah Winfrey's people, saying, "Hey, are you one of the publishers on this record? We want to license this song for the Oprah Winfrey Show." And I was like, "What?" So since
Wow.
then, the New Orleans Saints actually have kept us alive with that song as their theme song, and every year they license that song from us, and they do what they do. So I mean, it's been the gift that keeps giving for me.
So I guess when we go to New Orleans and next Sunday, they're gonna be playing that when we come into the stadium. Maybe that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm sure
You
you're
sure?
gonna hear it. I'm sure you're gonna hear it. Probably too much, but you probably gonna hear it.
Ain't
Yeah.
no such thing as too much when we in the Super Bowl. Ain't no such thing. You already know how Philly fans is. Eagles all day. You like, dang, they got their own song. Because you know we had a rival with Falcons. So you know,
Right.
they of course, you know, they was beefing with us. I remember when I first moved to Georgia, and this guy that worked at my job, he was my team lead. I remember the first time when I moved there and we played against them. And so, you know, we talk smack, we doing whatever. And I was in the dude's face, like, yeah, what y'all talking about now? And he was like, yo, if you don't get out my face, you about to get fired. And I was like, get fired.
Hey, but you know what though? I got love for Philly because y'all brought Michael Vick back. So you know when y'all brought Vick and Deshaun Jackson and LaShawn McCoy. So you know that was, I ain't gonna lie, Philly was my other team for a long time. You know,
we think about giving people chances. As we say, we dust ourselves off and we try again, you know. And I learned with the Southern mentality, the Southern hospitality, as they call it. They, you know, they said we give everybody a chance, we love everybody, but while they smiling in your face, they said stabbing in your back, like, yeah, we really don't like you. You know, we was team you. And then the thing was when he did what he did with the dogs, and I'm like, wait a minute now. I've seen a lot of people do that kind of stuff, and I didn't think it was appropriate. I didn't think it was right. Why y'all talking to him? Oh, because his skin color wasn't right.
oh yeah, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I always say, you know, and you know, again, right is right, wrong is wrong. He probably shouldn't have been doing it, you know,
right.
Of course. But those same people that still hold him nailed to the cross are the same people who still have less compassion for human lives than they do for, you know, animals. So, you know, that's just how I look at that. So, you know, I see it and don't see it and be like, let that man live. He did his time. He did all of his time. And he's been a model citizen since then. So I don't have an issue with Vic.
And it actually looked like he retired in Philly, and now he got a college game. He got a college gig. So he looked like it worked out in his favor after he left our city. We never had no ill will against him. So I see that you did a soundtrack off of Coach Carter.
Yeah.
The movie Coach Carter. I mean, like, Homebwoi, I've seen your name, but I didn't know. And I promise you, God does things on purpose. He puts you in the right places at the right time. Like when I interviewed Lester Sir Pace, and everyone was like, how'd you get that? Even the guy who was working with me at the time. And I was like, don't ask me, ask God. How did you end up getting onto that soundtrack?
It's the same song, Stand Up and Get Crunk.
So everything has basically been based off of that.
Some of it, a lot of it. So I have a few things that I had a song in the movie Crossover with Hot Sauce Wayne Brady and Anthony Mackie. And that was another song that I had. And then I did the theme song for the wrestler, The Coach, with the WWE. And that was another song that I had that was, you know, outside of just mainstream music and made it to like another platform outside of traditional music platform. So
now, was this the old school wrestling or is this the new school wrestling of the WWE?
He was probably like a 2000s era wrestler.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm old school.
Like I'm old school too. I go back with Hulk Hogan and the Iron Sheik and
Roddy Piper and Andre the Giant. You know,
the Junkyard Dog.
You don't know about that real wrestling.
Yeah. So I go back. I don't look as old as I am, but I go back.
I had no problem telling my age now. I'm 51, loud and proud, because you know when I tell people the wrong age, they believe me. And then when I tell them the real age, they like, girl, you don't like you that old. And then I tell them I have kids and adults, they like, you don't look like you had no kids. And then I say I got grandkids, they like, girl, okay, you lying. So I don't mind saying my age. See your age loud and proud.
I'm 3 more years and I'll be punching 50 in the face too. So
look, join the party, join the club.
I'm in the going.
I interviewed another guest recently before yours, and she's joining the 50 Club next year. And I was like, look, Don't worry about it. I got your back when you walk in the door. I'm gonna welcome you with open arms.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but I will say Stand Up and Get Crunk has been a blessing to me. Like we did that song in 2004 and it wasn't even a lead single from the project. And it has been the song that's been the biggest song of pretty much me and Yin Yang together. I mean, of course, they've had Salt Shaker and Whistle While You Twerk and some of those other records, but like the song that continuously keeps giving for us is Stand Up and Get Crunk.
I'm Morgan Reese, inviting you to tune in weekly for some empowering, enlightening, and embracing conversations to kickstart your day on Good Morning Black People. Wow. Okay, man. So besides that, any other notable music besides, because it looks like that's gonna be when you leave this earth, they're gonna connect you to that. Just go ahead and just accept that, receive that. So while you up in heaven, you be smiling down like they still gonna get crunk.
Yeah, they're gonna be crunk.
And then people used to, I promise you, in Georgia, they would laugh at me all the time. And I was like, whatever. I know what it means. And then, when I started dancing to it, when I was in my club days, I got a little older now. I just go to the lounges maybe or whatever. Okay. Or I stay home where it's safe.
Understood.
And do my own thing where it's safe. But with that movement, and it's been such a major impact on the HBCUs, how do you connect that with the way the culture is now?
So it's funny. Back then, and it kind of gets to the point of why you didn't know a lot more about me. So I was signed to Warner Music with us through Asylum Records as an artist, producer, and an engineer. I was on DJ Khaled's first album. Me and Lil Scrappy had a song called "Never Be Nothing Like Me." I was on the single. Actually, it was my song first. The song "Where They At" with BG of Formula of the Cash Money. He had a song called "Where They At," What Your Heart Beating For. That was actually my song. We ended up licensing the song to him so that he could put a version out. He put another verse on the song. He kept one of my verses on the song. We shot the video, and the world today know that song for BG when actually, it was pretty much 100% Homebwoi. And so, I did that, again with the wrestling song. When we did the Coach Carter soundtrack, they actually played my verse as a part of the song in that movie. So that gave me actors credit for that as well. So I've done a lot, but the reason you don't know that I did a lot is because we didn't have a YouTube back in 2004. We didn't have a Facebook. We didn't have an Instagram, TikTok. So there was no way for me to exploit myself so that you could know who I was unless, you were in the industry or you was just that close, because, I know everybody and everybody knows me from an industry perspective only because, how we move together. But from the general public perspective, if it wasn't something that was on the radio every day, then they didn't really get to know who you were. So I kind of flew up under the radar. And so now how I give back is with that song being so popular and Coach Prime taking the song and adopting it for Colorado. What I've been doing is doing basically my own little tour where I've been going to the high schools because I believe in going to the high school level. So I go to the high schools and I've been filming my version of the song, doing a video with the high school students. One of my reasons for that is I understand because I played in the band as well. When I was in high school, I played sax. So once you get out of school and you go to college for something in the arts, once you get out of college, especially if you're going for something music related, there's really no outlet for you. So I wanted to be able to give back to the high school students, do a video with them with a national known song in hopes that they could use those clips to help them get into any college that they want to and try to make the band and be able to take that experience when they're looking for jobs and opportunities to say, hey, this is also something that I was a part of, and they can see themselves and be able to use that as a means to give back, to the younger, generation. And it's funny because they all remember the song, how they remember the song by playing video games. And so now that I put a face with it, it's like, oh, okay, so that's the guy that sings the Stand Up and Get Crunk song. So it's almost like I'm rekindling new fans with the younger generation, only because we didn't have those tools that they have now to exploit themselves as artists.
So basically, you're giving, instead of giving your treasure, basically your treasure is your music. You're giving back your time and your talent for this new generation, which they really needed, because I keep telling everybody, because I have my other platform, which is Morgan Beast Life Speaker, where I'm telling people we got to protect our kids. We got to be there for our kids. Yep. And they don't have no other outlets as far as what they can do to keep them out of trouble. They don't have recreation centers where they're able to do positive things along with still being able to connect with them on their level. Yep. And mainly their level is music. In my opinion, the music that's playing today, half the time I can't understand nothing they're saying. It's like it's the same beat, it's a different voice, and it's like they're eating the microphone. And I tell everybody, I said I'm old school. I was Biggie, Pop, Mary J. Blige, before the Diddler did the Diddler things, part of that crew. I was part of that music, old school Teddy Pendergrass. You doing what you're doing is basically helping those children, give them an outlet, but still meet them where they at. Because, they always say, y'all old, man, y'all don't know that about our stuff. Y'all not into that stuff. So you're doing it that way, actually, basically is a blessing for them. Even if they don't see it right now, they'll see that later on. Like, I met him. I know who he is, and we done had a connection. So where did the name Homebwoi come from?
So I've been doing music since 10 years old. I recorded my first song at 12. And by the time I was in high school, I had started a group with it was supposed to be a compilation album, but it ended up being a group, and it was 10 members in that group. We had, I believe, like maybe 3 or 4 groups, like duo groups. We had one solo artist in that group, and we called ourselves the Red Clay Warriors. And so what happened was, we would go to different cities and we would perform. One, I'm always, myself and my partner Lil D, we was always the shortest out of everybody in the crew. And so me having so much energy and being so animated when I perform, I always used to hear, hey, homeboy right there, 5, homeboy right there, 5, homeboy right there, 5. And I was like, okay. So I heard homeboy so much that one night I was just sitting, I was like, damn, what? I think I'm gonna call myself homeboy. It's a common word that we use in our language all the time, but it doesn't have a face to it. So I got my marketing brain to work, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna name myself Homebwoi. I'm gonna spell it different so that it has a unique spelling to it. But now when you say homeboy, subconsciously you'll probably think about me now. You know what I mean? So that's how I, came up with the name. And, being on Facebook, my production company was Five Flame Productions, and I just kind of hyphenated FI Productions. I joined Facebook, and I don't really have a personal social media account. I don't really like getting my personal stuff out. So as an artist, I was like, well, I'll just sign up, and my first name will be Homebwoi, and then my last name will be Fi. So for the longest, I was always Homebwoi Fi on Facebook until I got enough views and stuff to where they wanted to come in and partner and verify me and stuff like that. Then I had to use first name Homebwoi, then last name, only because of their verification rules.
Got it. Wow. Yeah. Wow. So over your career, because you have a phenomenal background, phenomenal musical background. Has there any artists that you worked with that really stood out to you? Like you worked with them, you did a compilation with them, whatever you did with them, and they really stood out to you? Can you give me 5? Can you give me your 5?
I give you 5. I give you my favorite, which is my brother, Playboy Trey. He's like a big brother to me. he's a part of one of the legendary groups out of Atlanta called the Attic Crew. And he left the Attic Crew to form his own group with artist Bohagen, who was signed to Lil Jon. And, Trey and I, we put out a project, I think around 2007, 2015-ish, somewhere around there, called The Return of Feel Good Music. And so we actually got 4 cigars in the Ozone magazine, along with the likes of a Lil Wayne and some of the other larger artists that were larger than us. And when I saw that, we were able to get the same amount of, notification that, that they got, I was like, yeah. And since then, Trey and I have just had a real good chemistry as it relates to just partnering and doing songs together. Either I'm producing something for him on a project that he's had, or he's featured on something of mine, I featured on his. But the first person that I felt like I had the greatest chemistry with would be him. I've worked with the artist 4 Eyes that used to be signed with DTP over with Ludacris. And he and I did some stuff together. The artist T-Rock, who was formerly signed to 3-6 Mafia. He and I, did a couple songs together and still, do songs and stuff together. We got a song that's on my new project now, Big Rube, which is part of the Dungeon family. He and I, did some work. We've done multiple songs and stuff together. So I really like to collaborate with him. And then 3-time Grammy winner Killer Mike. He and I, we did some stuff together. And I do work with Bone Crusher as well, and he and I have a really good chemistry as well. So I'm always working again,
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember the first time hearing of a Bone Crusher before I moved down south, and went to Virginia with my kids' godmom, and we go to this club or whatever, and they put on that song. Oh, guys, his first song that he made.
Never Scared.
Yes, Never Scared.
Yeah.
James, I promise you, we thought they was about to fight in this club.
Yeah.
It was like dancing all over the place. And we was like, we gonna sit down. We don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know. We need to go to the door and run. And then it was wilding out and all over the place. And I was like, okay, this must be like one of those songs. Like one of those songs. And we learned at the time, once we, finally got acclimated to the Southern way of doing things, like, okay, this is how they do things down here. So, they can get hype, and they show you they get hype. And it took me for years, because I seen you put on your platform about how you treat DJs. And I'm really big on connecting and communicating with DJs. And I remember going to a DJ. I would wait till after they set was over. I'll wait till before they started set and be like, yo, can you play some up north music? You always got to play down south music. So being a DJ, how has that evolved you or incorporated to you in your career now?
Well, I don't actually DJ, but I'm very connected with the DJs. I honestly feel like we coexist. There is no one without the other. For the greater good of music. You can always have artists that do things, but in order to further your career, some DJ has to play a special part of your career in order for you to get heard amongst people that you wouldn't normally get heard by. And so I just feel like, the relationship between DJs and artists, we need to do a better job at it. I do feel like at the same time, and this is just an artist perspective, I can't owe you forever either, because you helped to break me. However, I can, and I feel like I should, if I get to a point to where I'm as big as a T.I., big as a Future, I should be able to go back to those DJs that helped me from the ground up and do a free show for them, just to give back and say, hey, bro, now I'm going to put the bag in your pocket. I did my due diligence. We should be clear by now. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, again, a lot of artists don't do that. And I hear the DJs complain about, bro, we broke your records. We did this, we did that, but now y'all don't want to come back. We want to, and I get it, and then, a lot of artists now, because DJs have been burned so much, they feel like, well, we're just going to charge y'all for everything. And it's just a part of the game where, certain DJs will charge you. And unless you're going to where they're spinning, they may not be playing you, but yet and still you may break bread in hopes that they are playing you. So it's kind of rough right now. And I just feel like, we need to get back to a place of synergy between the artists and DJs, because we can't live without each other. Like we both need each other. Without artists, there is no music for you to spin. And without DJs, there's no way for us to be heard by the masses of people. So we got to do a better job with artists and DJ relationship.
It's kind of almost like the radio stations. With the radio stations,
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, artists would take their music to this particular radio station. Believe it or not, I used to be a limousine driver back in the day in my time in life. And Philadelphia International Records, Gavin One Huff. I've seen those artists coming in there with their demos. My brother was one of those people doing that. And you're seeing that you don't have that synergy no more across the board. Everybody's all about the almighty dollar. You know, how much you gonna give me for what you gonna give me? Because they see the potential in you. They see that gift in you. They see that talent in you. But everything is, I want to charge you for this. I want to charge you for that. In your line where you at right now, if you had a young guy who's starting off and they got that talent, you know, they need a little hook, they need a little brushing up, they need some guidance, they need some mentoring. How do you go about connecting them or working with them to say, this is what you need to do, this is your ABCs, this is your 1, 2, 3s? How do you do that when an artist, whether it's young or old, because now we got artists all over now, all age groups?
I tell them they first need to understand how the money works, understand how the money moves. If you don't have your paperwork, you know, if you're not doing a good job from an administration perspective, making sure that you are registered in the right places so that you can get your money, you know, no matter how things are spinning. Making sure that, you know, not only are you registered, but make sure that you have, and I'm getting technical now, make sure that you have your ISRC codes embedded in your stuff so that way, no matter what platform you're on, if you decide to move your music and go to another platform, you don't lose your analytics. So I'm trying to teach them business first, because for lack of better words, it's like if you start a restaurant today just because you know how to cook, but you don't understand the business of it, you might not be successful. You may have some wonderful food, but you may end up losing a lot of money because you don't know how to budget. You don't know how to price. You know what I mean? You don't know how to scale, to know on what days or how the hours work so that you can have certain things prepared on time. Like, so if you don't know the business, then even if you got the best product, it won't last. So I'm always trying to teach people the business first and then say, go find your local DJ, build a relationship with that DJ, and wherever that DJ goes, follow that DJ. And even if they're not allowing you to get on the mic right now, don't worry about it, because they're going to continue to see you working with them. You're everywhere that they're at. And now you've built a relationship with the DJ. And before you know it, they're going to like, hey man, go give me that song. Give me your song. And they'll start playing it every now and then. They'll ask you, okay, you want to rap? You want to get up? You want to open up or something? Sure. But that's how you start building. And once that DJ see that, okay, this artist has a song, they're going to stick behind this song, and they're not going to record something 6 months later and then jump off the song, or 2 weeks later they're jumping off the song. This person's really going to work with this record. They'll start telling other DJs, hey man, I got this artist I've been working with who've been everywhere that I've been, song's starting to catch on. I think y'all need to holler at him. So then that DJ say, hey man, you need to go down and check out this DJ for what he's doing too, because I just talked to him. He's going to start playing your record. So before you know it, you're building that alliance. You're building that network of DJs that you really need. But again, you can't be jumping from song to song just because you recorded something new and you like it better, because what's old to you is still new to someone else who hasn't heard it. So that's the first advice that I give people, the business, and then, hey, this is the relationship that you need to make, and this is how you need to do it.
So it's almost like the 3 Ps: performance, patience, and perseverance.
Yeah.
You already got the performance because you had the gift, you had that music, you got the talent that you're willing to present to whoever you're trying to present it to. But while you're waiting for that performance to be recognized, to whatever genre or audience you want it to be, you got to have that perseverance, but you also got to have that patience, because you can still, you know, it's like giving up on a relationship. Oh man, this relationship ain't gonna last. I ain't doing this no more. I'm out. Or you go to a job and you're not happy with the job. Oh, my supervisor keep doing this. And then as soon as you leave, as soon as you end that connection, if it's the right connection, because you know all relationships ain't good relationships, right, whether it's good or bad. Once you decide to leave, and then you see that person, you know, moving to the next level where they told you they was going to do, or you see that job going to the direction that they said they was going to go in. That's basically where the artist kind of personality they need to have as well. Because
Yeah,
I guess maybe because social media is showing the fast money version.
Yeah, because I mean, let's think about it. When you first started doing music, you have to learn how to perform. You have to learn how to work a crowd, and doing your due diligence by being with that DJ that's allowing you to sharpen your skills so that you can eventually get to a point where you can start charging someone for you doing a show. You got to learn how to do the show. You know, and a lot of your DJs are good MCs nowadays too, so they know how to keep the crowd moving. So you have to take in all of that. Okay, I see DJ doing this, so when I get the mic, I can't just jump in and start rapping, or I can't just jump in and say, "Hey y'all, my name Homebwoi, and my song is," and here we go, hit it, DJ. You know what I mean?
But first of all, you're gonna be like the Showtime at the Apollo. They're gonna boo you all. Woo,
right.
woo.
Yeah, you gotta have you gotta have that swag. You gotta know how to turn it on, turn it off. You gotta know how to read the crowd. You may have multiple songs that you do, but it may not be the right crowd for particular songs. So you gotta learn these tools, and then I mean,
it's like homework.
Yeah, speaking with people, doing interviews, like it doesn't come natural.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So basically, and unfortunately, social media does not show them that. Social media is showing the glitz, they showing the glam, they showing, the fly clothes they wear, all the money out there, but they're not realizing behind all that, there's work that they had to do. Or they may have not did the right thing for the right reason to get what they get or got where they're at right now. And you were looking at the wrong thing. Like I tell people all the time, someone always tell me, why you need to be like this person, you need to be like that person. No, I don't need to be like nobody but myself. Right. But I would like for somebody to show me how to enhance myself with the skill sets and the uniqueness of other people, so I can learn how to make myself better. So I'm assuming that's what you did in your industry. You was like, hey, because when you started this out, what year? Because you said you've been doing this for a long time. You said since 10 years old. When did you finally like really blow up? At what age or what year did you really like blow up outside of stand-up, but outside of halftime?
So when we recorded halftime, I was 24.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes, I was still young. Yeah, I was still young when we did halftime. But prior to the deal that I had with Warner and stuff, like I had already had 2 independent record deals prior to that. With the Red Clay Warriors, we actually made it to get a independent record deal, and then myself, along with one of my rap partners, Breaking B, we had a group called Victims to Society. We were signed to a record label called Mirror Image Records, where Lil Jon was actually on that label. Nivea was on that label. Cool Ace was on that label, and then like Pimp C from UGK used to come around a lot. Too Short used to come around a lot. MC Breed used to come around a lot. So I had a chance to meet a lot of those people when I was still in my teens. I was like 18 when we signed that deal. So I've been a baby in the game for a long time.
But you're a mature baby now.
Yeah.
Look, you learned a lot of lessons. You dust yourself off. You're like, okay, so that didn't work out too well for me. But now I need to do what I know I need to do with that. Let me ask you this. So let's go back to the business part of it. Like I'm an author, so now I learned how to copyright my book. I know how to copyright my name. I'm working on what I need to do with this podcast. On the artist side, what steps do they really need to take, like the beginning baby steps of how they need to make sure they protect their brand, protect their music, protect their artistry? And I know you said about the IRC.
ISRC, yeah. So first thing they need to do is get affiliated with a professional rights organization. There's 3 of them in the U.S. You have CSAC, which is a newer one. That's a SECAC, and they just pronounce it CSAC. SAC. We just pronounce it CSAC. I don't know what the acronyms mean. You have ASCAP, which is one of the oldest, professional rights organizations, and you have BMI, again, one of your oldest professional rights organizations. So most people are either with BMI or either ASCAP. You have to be affiliated with one of them because they are the people that actually make sure that you're in the system to get paid, period. Right. So that's when we start talking about performance royalties. And a performance royalty is you went out and you did a tour, and you were at the Hard Rock. They actually have to pay a royalty fee, a performance royalty fee, for you to do that. So you'll get a check even from the Hard Rock by turning in your show set. That's separate from whatever you charge, to get for your performance. Is radio streams is also another form of performance royalty, right? When you're played in a movie, that's also another form of royalty, for performance royalty. So you have to be there first. From there, you got other organizations that you can get into, but once you are there, I would then say make sure that you copyright your music. You have two forms that you have to fill out. That's the SR, which is the sound recording paperwork, and you have the PA, which is your performing arts side of the paperwork. And both of those pieces of paper, both of those documents have to be filled out with the same songs. If you have one song, you got to fill out both of those papers so that your whole body of work for that song is actually covered under the copyright law of the United States. So you have to do that for, second. So it's like, do that and you're good. So at least then you can protect yourself.
They're not doing that.
Oh,
they're
no.
just making the music and they're just coming out, and they're how you want to be internet famous. They're being internet famous or social media famous, and they figure, okay, I'm good. I ain't got to worry about it until the money starts drying up. Yep. Or there's someone that stole their music and they end up copyrighting it and making it under them. And now you got a battle, you got a disagreement, you want to go to court, but they didn't get the ABCs of what they supposed to did before they got into the game. Wow. Yeah. Wow. So have you ever been a ghostwriter for any music or any project?
Yeah, I've done some ghostwriting. I've wrote hooks. I haven't really wrote on whole full verses and stuff for a lot of people. I mean, I have, but it was earlier in my career. But for the most part, it's like writing hooks and stuff like that, because as a producer, it's easy for me to produce a track and then put a hook to it, and then somebody's like, hey, I like it. Well, hey man, can I take you off and just keep the hook? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm still going to get my percentage, for it. So it works out.
So do you have any current projects right now that you're working on, or anything that we need to look for? Because, now I'm going to know who Homebwoi is.
Yeah. So
I like your own introduction to your name, Homebwoi.
Yeah. So I do have a full length project out called How to Tame an Elephant. It is live on everything except for Spotify, and that's just because they don't want to pay us. So I try to push people to where I know at least I'm going to get paid. I do have the single from that project, a song called All My Love, which we actually have a line dance for that song. So it is on Spotify and on everything. So, you can definitely check that out as well there. But have a documentary that's titled How to Tame an Elephant as well. It's on Amazon Prime, and it's also on Tubi TV, it's on Cheetah, it's on Roku, and probably about 4 other different networks that I don't recall off the top of my head right now. But if y'all are interested, you can definitely check me out on Amazon Prime or Tubi, and it's How to Tame an Elephant. So, and, same as the album as well.
So when you said it's a documentary, is it journaling your life, chronicling God? So it's your autobiography.
Yeah, I talk about, how I got into music, what my first influence was for music, which was my older brother, who my biological brother. He got me into music by beating me up because I couldn't freestyle. But
that's motivation right there.
Yeah. So I mean, I talk about that. I talk about the trials and tribulations of me being into music from a personal perspective, as well as a business perspective. And I talk about what I'm doing now. My wife is in it. She makes an appearance in it. My brother, he makes an appearance. My parents, they make appearance. So yeah, I mean, I think if you're looking for something kind of informative and you're not really looking for more, a lot of people look at documentaries because they're looking for the tea. But this was more of a, hey, let me introduce you to me. Let me introduce you to me. And let me tell you how I got where I am. There is a bit of drama in it, but it's not centered around the drama as much as it is, let's get to know who Homebwoi is.
Right. Yeah. Let's know who James is. Because Because at the end of the day, your name is your name, and that's your brand. But then we want to know who you are as the artist that's connected to the brand.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't wait to see that. I'm gonna check that out myself. And so that's your major project right now. That's your major baby right now that you're working on. Do you have any other collaborations that's due to be coming out with any other artists in the future or the near future?
Yeah. So right now, I got two things brewing. I got a song that I produced for an artist named Plaz out on the West Coast, featuring Bone Crusher and Corrupt of the Dog Pound. So I just produced a single for them. And then I got the lead single for Bone Crusher's new project featuring Dougie Fresh. So yeah. So that's so
That should be fire.
yeah. So when that drops, it's gonna definitely be one of the ones. So yeah, I got that I'm working on. I got a couple other tracks that I did on Bone Crusher's upcoming project. So I'm working,
Wow, you're the businessman in the industry right now.
Yeah.
And you're making a statement because you're not like traditional back in the day, artists who were starting off right, and then somewhere down the line they got a little detoured and went the wrong way. But it's like you started off right, you learned a lot of the lessons, and then it helped you grow even more, mature you even more for your next chapter, for your next journey. And a lot of people don't really realize, we go through these trials and these tribulations on purpose so we can get to the purpose and plans that he has for us, whether it's hip hop, whether it's gospel, whatever you're doing is going to be for his purpose and his plan for you in your life. Wow. So it looks like God has definitely been working on James Homebwoi Maddox. Like the homeboy is doing the homeboy thing.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any because they be remixing a lot of stuff. Does it look like it's going to be a remix of Halftime in the future?
I don't know. I really don't.
The Yang Yang twins ain't talked to you about this. They ain't had no conversation to say.
No, I mean, so Kane of the D-Rock twins, the one with the raspy voice, I produced a track. So him and D-Rock both are working on their own solo projects as well. Okay. And I have a track. I got two tracks on Kane's project that he's about to get ready to drop. I'm actually featured on one of those songs. So we talk. We still have a decent relationship. Like it was. I can honestly say me and the Yin Yang twins don't have a bad relationship at all. We don't talk as much, as we probably would like to, because that, believe it or not, even though they don't have anything on the radio currently right now, they stay on the road all the time. Them boys are still booked for shows. They stay booked for shows year round. So, they haven't gone anywhere. They're still making their money. So we still talk in passing, or, one of them will get on my mind and I pick up the phone and just reach out, or something, vice versa. But, yeah, I don't see in the near future, because it's one of those. If it was a club record, I could probably say, I could probably see somebody trying to remix it. But because it's one of those niche type records that is known, but it's not necessarily one of the songs that's played on the radio per se, it's kind of hard to say whether or not somebody would actually take it and sample it and try to redo it or remix it or something.
Because as I always say, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it.
Right.
Because it seems like it's been working for our community, for other events. I've seen it on commercials.
Yep.
I'm quite sure it's probably going to be, as you already said, it's going to be playing in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. I wouldn't even be shocked if I'm putting it out to the atmosphere. It's going to be one of the commercials for the Super Bowl. Hey, you say you had not, if you ask not. I'm just saying.
Hey, I take it. It's all money. It all comes to the same place. So
at the end of the day, you get your notoriety for it.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of irons in the fire. So if anybody's trying to follow you or anybody needs to catch up with you, can you let us know what social media platforms that you're on?
Yeah, I'm on everything. So you can follow me on the gram at The Real Homebwoi, and I spell my name HOMEBWOI. On YouTube, it is at Homebwoi, so HOMEBWOI. On Facebook, on my artist page, it's actually Homebwoi as well. My personal Facebook is James Homebwoi Maddox, and my TikTok is Homebwoi FI. So I mean, you can literally, because I'm the only person with my name, you can just put my name in Google and you're probably going to find everything linked to Homebwoi. Or you can just go to homebwoi.com and you can follow me from there, because I have my links on all my stuff there at the bottom. So, you can still holler at your boy. So,
so I had my podcast began 2 years ago, God's grace. And 2023, my statement was 2023 was all about me.
Yeah.
Homebwoi, it definitely was all about you in 2023. 2024, more in store. You were working on your documentaries where you could tell the world who Homebwoi was, because you said, as you stated, people forgot about who you were.
Yeah.
And now 2025, you're still alive. You're still alive now, and you're going to share your journey. You're going to share your testimony of your past and your path and how you got to where you are, to where you're going to go to this for this new season. Do you have anything you want to share with those people out in the world, these young people, these older people, anyone who's trying to get into this industry, to give them some guidance and wisdom and motivation?
Yeah, I would say, Black folks, stop telling people that they're too old to use their talent. Your talent is a God-given talent, and it's like spitting in somebody's face when you don't use that talent. So you're never too old, but let's be real. You also have to be realistic. If you're 30 plus years old, don't look to try to get a major record deal either, but you don't necessarily need that. You can go direct to consumer. I mean, I do 2 events. I did a annual event last year, holiday celebration, did one the year before then, both sold out events. I'm going to do a summertime event in June, Homebwoi and Friends Summerfest, and we're going to have line dancing. We're going to have spades tournament, bingo tournament, food trucks, concert. It's going to be a whole grown folk day. So I know for my own self, I'm not trying to be mainstream with the radio, but I do good music for people in our age group, and I can still bring the people out to come see me. So I do what I do, and that could be something that somebody else within our age group, or even somebody younger with a unique style. You don't have to go to radio. Just understand, start building your fan base, and take your stuff where your fans are, and continue to make your money, because you can.
Well, guys, y'all heard it from the master himself, the talented, brilliant James Homebwoi Maddox. I like Homebwoi. My dad, before he passed, he used to say "old boy" all the time, and everybody said when he passed, he was named "old boy" in his name. And I was like, okay, now I can always start it too. Homebwoi, old boy.
Yeah.
Old boy. Y'all heard it from him. Please check him out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. He has his own YouTube channel. Check out his documentary, The Elephant in the Room. I promise you.
How to Tame an Elephant. Yeah.
How to Tame an Elephant.
Yeah.
How's that elephant in the room? How to Tame an Elephant.
Yep.
Check him out, guys. This young man has some things in store for this new season. Again, James, I appreciate you for joining me on my show. You guys, I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, wherever you are, morning, day, or night, on this magnificent and marvelous Monday. And thank you again, and be blessed.
Thank you.